Okay, September 7th. Okay, on this date in 1825, the Marquis de Lafayette, the French officer that served in the American Revolution, basically left a reception with John Quincy Adams. He'd been a guest of honor and then departed to go back to France, leaving the next day on September 7th. So that happened today in 1825. Now, what was interesting about this was he was invited back here by James Monroe to celebrate the upcoming 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. So by this point, Lafayette was aging. But to give you a little history, the Marquis de Lafayette was a French officer, and the French king specifically banned any French officer specifically naming the Marquis de Lafayette from serving in the American Revolution to support the cause. And the Marquis de Lafayette ignored that, set sail for the United States, met up with George Washington, became an instrumental officer, and helped win the American Revolution in the 1770s. And so was an American hero, and then went back to France and had a long career, some positives and some negatives. But then again, in 1824 was invited to come on a grand tour of the United States. So came back and toured around, was here for the contested election of 1824 when John Quincy Adams, this guy, defeated Andrew Jackson in a very contested race. We'll talk about that later. He was here to see that and to see that transfer of power, which could have been a very difficult thing, but we did it very peacefully. And then again, did a grand tour of much of the United States, and then in 1825 came back to Washington, D.C. Then President John Quincy Adams held him for a reception. They spent the evening together, and then the next day, the Marquis de Lafayette departed to go back to France, dying a few years later. So that's what I have for you today. I'll see you tomorrow.